Gay guys have the most sex, straight people have the second most, and then lesbians have the least sex at 0 sex because you need a penis for sex. Well, I don't...
This is Ryan Long, a hilarious comedian that conservatives will love. Ryan is a lot edgier than other comedians that I've featured, so if that's not your cup of tea, go ahead and click away from the video and I'll see you next time. If not, let's get into it.
Sometimes girls try to pull the feelings out of you, you know? You ever had your girl psychoanalyze you where they'll be like, your friend didn't show up at your event, did that hurt your feelings? They're like, what the fuck, I don't care. Yeah. Just can do whatever he wants, now I'm a grown man, you know? And then she's like, it just seems like something a friend wouldn't do, you know? And then before you know it, you're like, you know what, yeah, f*** Chris. Like, doesn't support me, you know what I mean? Can't believe Chris would do that to me. And then they think they're right. They're like, aren't you happy you had those feelings inside and you got them out? You're like, I don't think they were in here. I think you put them here. I think you planted them like a dirty cop. Planting evidence in my body. Coming in just like, I think we found a bag of resentment. You're like, that was not it. You put that there. I was just gonna get political for 1 second because I do believe that they should release the hostages, and by that I mean Bill Belichick's girlfriend should release him. By the way, I'm not confused by it. I know a lot of people are like, why would he do that? You know? Yeah. And you're like, he likes young and she likes money. Like, it's not that complicated, but you gotta be careful with dating younger girls, right? It has not worked out well for celebrities. Johnny Depp started dating a younger girl, shit in his bed, right? Alec Baldwin started dating a younger woman, killed a guy. Like, what? Elon Musk started dating a younger woman, instead of running his billion-dollar companies, now he just works at the government. Like, it's not, things aren't going good. Because older men don't know how to say no to a 24-year-old girl. Like, 24-year-old guys have terrible ideas too, but we know how to tell them to fuck off, you know? 24, that's why, you know how they've been saying, can 100 men beat a gorilla? What they should say is, can 100 men over 70 say no to one 24-year-old girl?
That's a harder challenge. She was
running this whole business, and her whole job as a publicist was to make people talk about his book, his career, and not his personal life. And after they finished, people exclusively talk about him fucking her. So she has done maybe the worst job imaginable. And then because they ask questions, they're like, how long you guys been together? And she goes, we're not answering that. Like, if I asked you right now, I'm like, how'd you guys meet? And you were like, move on. Like, she doesn't want to say, you know, I was the receptionist at the hemorrhoid clinic. Like, so. I don't know, is there any girls here that have dated like a fucking guy 50 years older for the money? I guess you're not gonna admit it, but the benefit of dating a guy that's 50 years older is if he asks you to choke him, you just turn down the oxygen. The main position you use doggy style, which is you cleaning up his shit. You're still on your hands and knees. And by the way, I'm dating a younger woman. I won't tell you how young. I just say she can't get her license. Oh
my gosh, right.
Because women are bad at driving. But no, it is a little funny dating a girl like younger than you. You know what I mean? Because they don't know the references and stuff like that. They don't know your favorite artists, and you're like, lady, you were born in 2017. You don't know who R. Kelly is? Oh my gosh. A lot of times the girls will get the most mad when like an older guy dates like a younger girl. Same thing like when black guys date white women, a lot of black women will be like, why are you dating white women? I mean, to be fair, white guys aren't crazy about it either, but... You guys have an age gap? I know you've been talking amongst yourselves, but that's what I've been talking about here for the last couple of minutes. 4 years? Okay, that's not bad.
Don't I look good?
You look amazing, yeah. Let's see the tits. Like, let's just... And you've been together for how long?
26 years.
26 years. Yeah. You guys are reconnecting. You've been doing most of it during the show.
I think you're like so insightful and amazing.
How would you know? You haven't heard a word I said. That's like a fucking girl that you're fucking on her phone the whole time, being like, no, yeah, you're laying pipe for sure. You are tuning me up. I've never experienced dick like this, yeah. I'll be feeling it tomorrow for sure. Never taken dick on this level. She didn't even listen to me say that! I'm being cucked.
It's okay, Ryan. I think they're both high.
You are adorable.
Thank you.
If I was a little younger, we would have talked.
Aren't you supposed to be rekindling your marriage? You're out here propositioning yourself to the fucking clown mid-show? What do you think of that? You want to bring me in for a threesome tonight? Well, what?
No,
Oh.
I just wanted you to feel.
Just with me?
Drunk at least. Drunk at least.
Oh! Oh, you're one of those guys who likes to watch. Because he is making aggressive eye contact right now. Like an insane amount. We have the chair set up. And I'm gonna go in the room, he's just gonna be smoking a cigarette. Let's see those moves, funny man. Not so funny anymore, she's pegging me. He's in the corner in a gimp mask. Consider our marriage officially rekindled.
You get older, you get more experience.
Yeah, okay.
There's a lot of guys here. Hello?
You're saying you have experience? Or you're saying he has experience? Oh, did you guys see that? I go, are you saying you have experience or him have experience? She goes, fucking this guy. He's got experience mopping up after.
I'm actually a divorce lawyer.
You're a divorce lawyer. Did you hit him with the prenup or what?
Yeah, absolutely. And post up and the whole thing.
Post-op, why'd you have more money than him? This guy's just getting cucked nonstop, dude. I'm on your side now. This guy comes out here, his wife talks his ear off the whole comedy show, propositions the comedian, calls him broke, and then on top of that, she's gonna represent herself in court. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the reason I need a divorce from my small-dicked husband, that's what she would say. I didn't say you're small, she said that in the future hypothetical scenario. Don't look at me, don't shoot the messenger. I think your dick's huge, my friend. I think you pop it out like this. Yeah, I think you give her the 6 top inches, then the 6 bottom inches, and then the 6 middle inches, and it's still not enough for her. There's this girl on Big Brother, JoJo Siwa, and she was like a lesbian, and then she came out and said she's straight. Did you see that? Proving what I've been saying forever, that you can flip lesbians and you should be trying, you know what I mean? Yeah, they always get mad at me when they're like, I'm a lesbian, and I'm like, challenge accepted. Like, you know what I mean? They told me to stop telling them that, wearing a lesbian Slayer shirt with a pair of scissors crossed out. When I get in trouble when a girl tells me she's a lesbian and I'm like, well, I'm like a human vibrator. Like, they don't like that. And then I start buzzing. They never seem to like it when I tell them that they're a little pale from the lack of vitamin D and then I point to my dick. But, hey, it is what it is. Also, the best part is Mickey Rourke is the one who flipped her a little bit. You guys see Mickey Rourke kind of looks like half man, half leather, like sort of thing. Just like a cigarette draped in a human flesh kind of thing. And then Mickey Rourke was kind of like, oh yeah, you're a lesbian? Give me 4 days, I'll flip you. And then she was like, no you won't. Because she sort of sounds like me a little bit.
She does, actually.
And then 2 days later, she's like, I'm flipped. Turns out I am flipped. It's not as big of a deal for a girl to be a lesbian and come back to straight, right? I'm not saying lesbians are fake. Like, I'm sure Ellen's never gonna be like, need some dick. Like, obviously, but sometimes girls will just sleep with girls for social reasons. You know, it is. I know a girl that she was a lesbian, then she married a guy, and she goes, I just hated men, so I started sleeping with women. And you're like, all right, fine, but you know, I've met some guys that hate women, never that much, I guess, you know? I've never met a guy that's like, fucking, wife took everything, dick me, ah!
Oh my gosh.
Fucking women telling me what to do. Telling me I can see the kids every second week and bring her in, boys, you know. Telling me stories without a point. Like, you just don't see that. I mean, it's just easier to flip back and forth for a woman, right? Like, a girl can come back, like, made out with a friend, crazy night. If a guy comes back from a work party, he's like sucked off Craig, like, you know what I mean? Like, you just became like a different dude, you know what I mean? You can't go to the engineer Christmas party and come back like Doug tuned me the fuck up last night. That guy did some damage. Even it's like a birthday present, sometimes girls will be like, oh, I'm gonna make out with a girl because it'd be hot, right? Would you think you'd like that if he goes, you came home and he's like, happy birthday, just... Oh my gosh, just want to do something for you, you know? You'd be like, what? I thought you wanted it.
That is a visual I did not need.
It's not the same. That's why even the threesomes, right? Like when a two girl guy threesome, that's why it's like more acceptable. It's not. You know what the difference between the two threesomes is? A girl guy threesome is kind of like there's a hockey player and then there's two goalies and he still scores. You know what I mean? Whereas like a guy girl threesome is there's two hockey players and then they go to a bar and fuck some drunk chick and never call her again and go back home to their girlfriends. And that's the difference. So that's why it's not as big of a deal for JoJo Siwa to be she's not a lesbian anymore. Guys don't care if a girl's like, I'm not a lesbian anymore. We're like, whatever, you barely were anyway, you know what I mean? When a guy's like, I'm not gay anymore, we go, yeah, you are. You know, we treat a girl coming back from being a lesbian like a girl coming back from being Christian, where she's like, I'm not Christian anymore. You're like, you probably just went to church because your parents wanted you to. There was some social reasons. We treat a guy coming back from being gay like a guy from coming back from joining ISIS. You better have a really good explanation. If you come back to a job interview and it's like, it says on your resume you were in ISIS for 9 years. You're just like, yeah, I just got tired of all the hairy men. I don't know what to tell you. I no longer want to get on my knees 5 times a day and... Are you guys all pumped about the 6 female astronauts that went into space? Why? Why are you booing? You don't think women should go to space? Or you're like, you have one of those old-fashioned opinions, like, oh, if women are in space, who's making dinner? Well, I'm not that type of comedian. Oh, what are you thinking? Oh, they probably tried to go to the moon and then they got lost because they can't read maps, ended up in that. You're looking at me probably thinking Jeff Bezos paid $500 million to get some peace and quiet. I'm not that type of comedian. By the way, is that not hilarious that like girls across the board didn't even like that flight because they came back and they were like, girl power, we went to space, and every girl's like, go f*** yourself.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, Katy Perry, you know what I mean? I think you can't do girl power stuff when the economy's bad, you know? A little bit. When the economy's good, you're like, we did this for women. When the economy's bad, they're like, women went to space. They're like, no, you went for space. I can't pay my rent. Like, that's the vibe a little bit right now. Hey, I don't like it if guys are like, I did this for men. I'd be like, what the fuck? Or maybe if things are going good, you take that. Like if everyone had a fun night and you and your boys are like having a good night and he comes back and he's like, dude, I got laid tonight. Everyone would be like, nice, you know? But if everyone in the crew hasn't got in 8 months, and then the one guy comes back like, I just had a threesome for us. He's like, smell my fingers, we got pussy. You'd be like, and he's like, as a unit, men got some pussy. Don't try to bring me into this. And by the way, I'm a white dude. My identity I could never do that with. Like, you know, there's no way I could come back from a space flight and be like, another successful mission from the white man. Like, you know?
Yeah, white pride is frowned upon.
We did it, boys, you know. White men on the come up. We did this. White men, everyone would be like, yo, I got tired of colonizing Earth. I just tried to give space a try. Like, you know. No one will be happy with that. The The only way you could be pro-white, I think, is if you're the underdog. Like, you could never be like, oh man went to space. Like, but if like every now and then, like a white dude dunks on like a big black guy in the NBA, you could be like, the boys are back. Like, there's like a little tiny bit every now and then you could do. Also, I think we're at the stage of celebrities where it's kind of like we're just annoyed by them. I think, is that fair to say? Yeah, you put your, exactly, right? It kind of feels like it's like you've been dating for 10 years and they're like, everything they do is just annoying. You're like, why are you breathing like that kind of business? You know what I mean? Like, that's how, like, she came back from space, Katy Perry, and she goes, I was getting in touch with my divine femininity. If you were on first date trying to get pussy, you'd be like, you're so interesting, you know? If you're dating for 10 years and she comes back and she goes, you go, what did you do today? She goes, I got in touch with my divine femininity. You go, well, you were supposed to be in touch with the cable company. Like, you had one fucking job. And you sat around all day doing what exactly? Getting in touch with your divine femininity? What does that mean? Even Me Too shit. Like, if a girl you start dating, she's like, that guy looked at my tits. You're like, do I have to fight him? Where is he? Let's fucking go, you know? After a couple years, your girl's like, that guy looked at my tits. You're like, well, put a fucking bra on. How about that?
Oh, the front. Oh my gosh.
If your girl's like, that guy looked at my tits, you're like, I mean, lady, what do you expect? They're out. They are out and about. Right, but first night, you'd be like, oh, what a crazy thing for a guy to do. Let me fight him. I guess I'm fighting your coworker now. How dare he look at your tits?
Oh my gosh. That's a bold decision. Sit in front row with those headlights on.
Out and about. Even singing, right? Katy Perry was singing What a Wonderful World. If she came out first date, what a wonderful world, you wouldn't want to. You'd be like, you have the voice of an angel, you know? 10 years in, you're like, what are you, 4 years old? Stop singing. You're on the road lost, like, took a wrong turn somewhere, and she's like, I see skies of blue. Like, shut up! Yeah, we're kind of done with influencers, period, I think. Just like, you know, you're allowed to be famous and rich and influencer, but you don't also get to be like, I'm better than you, you know? Like Mr. Beast, he wants to be like a good guy now, and you're like, fuck right off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've seen it, he'll be like, I put 10 men in a pod, and if each of them can suck me off, if each man can suck me off to completion, they will be awarded their AIDS medication, eh? Everyone doesn't have to be an influencer. Dude, I've been talking about this on my podcast, but there's this woman, she's like a hot, like 22-year-old, and she's a plumber influencer, which is like hilarious, you know what I mean? Like, if you clogged the toilet, do you want a hot 22-year-old walking in, setting up a ring light? You're like, what are you doing? Sets up the cameras, comes in your face, like, oh, this guy did some damage tonight. Ooh, what'd you eat there, pal? This is a mess. Oh. No, you want a guy named Carl who stormed the Capitol. That's who you want. That's who you want. With a phone from World War II. And he's playing Snake on. Man, I don't think it's sexist. I think the same way as a woman. Like, if you went to get a pedicure, do you want Carl who stormed the Capitol? No, you want an Asian woman who's talking shit about you behind your back, right? You don't want Carl walking in like, all right, let's see the toes, you know? I don't know if you've seen, there's been like 100 articles recently about how kids are getting radicalized by alpha male content. Have you guys seen? By the way, I get fucked up by it sometimes too, where you open your phone, it's like, if you sleep, you're gay, and I'm like, what the fuck?
These Andrew Tate types.
Yeah, the blogs have tried everything to get the kids to stop watching. They even tried putting tampons in their bathroom. That didn't help. They tried telling them the men wear dresses now. That wasn't working. Because the guy over here is like, get put, get rich. And they're like, how about get gay and respect? And they're like, I think I'm going to go with this guy. And the blogs are like, what the hell? What's going on here? If we write an article about how you're toxic, will that help? You know? And then they're like, all right, final offer. How about you guys can play in women's sports? Is that doing it? But these kids are jacked up on testosterone. They're 16, and they're like, why do you like that shit? And it was like, you remember what it was like to be 16 jacked up on tea? Two high tea guys like me and you? You know what I mean? You know, I've been there, you know. But it has bad parts too. Like, if you have less testosterone, you're 30% less likely to commit crimes. Yeah, you're also 100% more likely to be a bitch, but but they're so confused why these kids want the alpha male content telling them how to get pussy, get rich, and get jacked. They even tried making videos telling men to cry. Have you ever seen those commercials? Where it'll be like a guy that looks like hard as fuck, like a Mexican gangster, and he'll be like, crying's not just for putos, you know. Or it'll be like a guy that's like a construction worker, and he'll be like, emotions are for cool guys. Crying's amazing. I cry twice a day. The best part is, you find out that he wasn't a construction worker. It was an actor from Hollywood that they put in a construction worker outfit to say construction worker. Isn't that offensive to construction workers? A guy doing construction worker face and being like,
construction worker face?
We cry. Like, that's crazy.
That's constructionist.
Like, what do you do for a living? IT. Can you imagine they did a commercial where they put on an IT suit? And what's your name? Robert. They go, I'm Robert from IT, and I kiss my dad on the lips. IT guys hold hands with their friends. Nothing wrong with crying yourself to sleep daily. It's like so offensive. Can you imagine, guys, like we made our version of that commercial? We just get a girl from Hollywood, we put her in like a woman's like traditional outfit where she's just like a housewife, and she's like, as a woman, sometimes we do need to calm down. A fucking girl up in futurist feminist, get her the purple hair. She's like, I speak for all feminists to say, we are overreacting often. Yeah, we need to start doing that. How about that Hollywood actor? I want to start putting on like a musical theater outfit. Just be like, I'm a musical theater student, and I think emotions are gay. How about that? How about that? Well, we're fucking lying about what people think, you know? All of their solutions for men problems are just things they want. They'll be like, men are committing suicide just because you're not talking about your feelings enough. You're like, I don't think that's it. A lot of times girls are like, I want a guy to talk about his feelings. Then a guy actually talks about his feelings. She's like, didn't love it. Yeah, Kanye West told everyone how he felt. How did that work out for him? How did that work out? Because the girl's like, tell me your feelings. Then some poor guy believes her, and he's like, okay, now he's in trouble because he's like, I just feel like Sandy Hook didn't happen. Then, hey, I thought you wanted to know my feelings. I feel that we should have a threesome with your sister. These are my feelings.
What do you think about Ryan Long? Should I feature more? Check out the link in the description down below for Ryan's YouTube channel and his tour dates. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Conservative Vibes. I'm CV, and I'll see you in the next video.